O sea, Iperiton actual. Ow, ow. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's the boy. So, pri timane inimisikolimietoshikana. That pesoputri penemisekanchikotampu. Pri kanmesevikai aikason tryck som man nome feshokanimino. Ili potrik masokota. E prashipotoko. Li potare potafesan lekasotre. Umisotre domondasho. Grazie por te con el apoyote con el totazo el potasio por ton mamá et que le saki el apoyo para mi man et saki tria aussi pour tre el pote comment j'ai tri sa radiological event glisse the right sap. Ow. Oh boy. That's all. Action. Exebulicon. Prexa. Exepoto. Grotto. Element. Shaco. Jacontelo. Elementar. Ixandere poté. Gripototé, chamanditi. So, exemane. Efeso treman. Epeso treman neto. Lepeso trekita. Esa chapotalia. Exemenonte de robota visualmente que exototre samone e la pote cosecoto exemonon e princeto pescepoto clecai examono crisa pescioltica mi sepate shibotata e le pesotre ma enemisartre cose potrisce mantica ai fason tre clochemonoca li bisciotto condri po a sepocotelio monadelo de prisa mojudape soca aixoto gliano non dela monashaki tri oso casotot isso totel isso montaggio Digimon Ixigodeclasa Evisal Ilicosion Isho Examone Christopher Shai Kaligonokel Emende Fashome Torapasapashoko Lipotesh Montel Enesat Enecolia Enetaya En Crisoto Ilipisotre Kurasota Lishamodel Episotre Shamanakeki Saikon Klaiksa Kashkundrika Afesosha e Karelsa Elementis Gigantea Creatavation Turusamenshotlekon e Sokotelemansiaki Aiklotota Lorota Trumanda der Turusota Rosota Oh the boy Sap cat doodle doo doo. Ixa. So Freisteton Ixa Hurricada high frequency active auroral research project. Plixa trad samanamte Ixodarapota El Frankenstorm. Osa, ik de ra klikker på North Carolina. Besofasha. So, ito shibuto back to DC. Tripishoto. En vasofushi. Lisa principal. I just wonder who gets the rebuilding contracts for this one. It, you know, Katrina, it was Halliburton. B. Shakarin Asapliko. I was the only one who talked about how Halliburton bombed the oil rig in my rap. I thought it was funny that nobody caught on to that but me. Or the UFOs on 9/11. Nobody even talked about that. Axela shit in Sol Ilipod Oxai 2 trillion in gold from the towers. I don't know how people miss that stuff. How do you miss a UFO on 9/11, you know? Some things are just taboo, I guess. But anyway, my point was that it was flying over a plume of smoke that was not supposed to be there. So you have star visitors there for the event, at least to watch. But then there's this one flying saucer that's flying over this cloud of smoke coming from the base of the building. And given the official story, we're not supposed to have any clouds of smoke coming from the base of the building. It was supposed to be the airplanes that brought the towers down. So yeah, there's that GIF image of this rotating cloud of smoke with the UFO flying over it. You know, you can show that to people, but it doesn't really go very far. No one really talks about that type of stuff. It's something that I would talk about on Coast to Coast, but no one's really had that conversation yet. I'm surprised everyone missed it. Alex Jones doesn't want to touch that stuff with the 10-foot pole because he's worried about damaging his credibility talking about UFOs on his show. So I guess that's something I'd call up George Norrie about. So yeah, the spiders. It would seem that spiders had the potential to really take things over. I was like, when I came out here, it really hit me. I was like, wow, spiders can really multiply, and fleas can really multiply too. There's these micro ticks. I'd never even heard about or seen them. You never really hear about them, but out here, yeah, they're little pin ticks, and you'll get a whole bunch of them if you're not careful walking through the grass. And anyway, my friend was saying that the only way to get them off is with duct tape. It's like you can scrub with water and soap, but it won't get them off. You have to use duct tape to get these little micro ticks. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. The Lyme disease with the ticks and West Nile virus with mosquitoes, that was on the radar for me. most of these things you can repel if you have the right mind state, you know. Oh, oh boy. So anyway, my plan was to tell Obama and get him to help me make these super gardens all over the world. Uh, I was hoping that he would help. Uh, I know they're into gardening at least a little bit at the White House. Michelle in her new book and everything. Anyway, my idea was to make these super gardens kind of like a a Noah's Ark sort of thing with plants. We try to maintain every species of plant known to existence and maintain them in several areas on Earth. And I think we need to do it on the surface and underground, and have these super submarines that are able to grow on the surface of the ocean, but if tragedy strikes or something, they can go underwater. So we would have kind of a Noah's Ark thing going on with these super uh, barge submarine. We still have to make all that stuff. It's really important, you know. I don't think the seed bank in Norway is going to cut it. I think we need to make these super gardens. So, yeah, I've been talking about uh, them visiting and everything. What we need to do to have open contact and open integration with the star visitors, like one, we need to consolidate all the military forces on Earth so that they don't see us as volatile with the many squabbling nations. We need to show signs of stability. So I proposed having all the militaries under my control. Uh, that's just part of it. It's also environmental stability. We need to stop building nuclear power plants. We're gonna have uh, multiple issues with, especially making more when you've got people endorsing the idea like Bill Gates and stuff. So you've got these people gunning for depopulation, and then you've got me here who's like, no, guys, we can make a sustainable world. We just have to take a few steps. Anyway, so I wanted to replace all the nuclear power plants. I do, it's my life mission to replace them with the magnetic generator. It has to be mass produced, and that all goes hand in hand with taking down the power lines, so when we make flying saucers that we're not having people getting clotheslined. Imagine in the future if we just keep on making more and more power lines. Where I would have these dreams where we'd have power lines like mazes, and I would have to fly through these power lines and that keep going up into the sky. That's the kind of world we're headed towards if we're not careful. And the concrete is a problem. We're making way too much concrete, and it's absorbing. It has the potential to absorb heat, and it's just gonna get to be a bigger and bigger problem the more you industrialize all these third world countries with all that. We all have to be growing food. We all have to, and that's the message that they've gotten uh, out there in D.C. I just hope it spreads to the rest of the world. I hope that all the other presidents and everybody uh, figures it out that we all have to be growing food, all the citizens, everybody, and they can't be passing laws. We have all these needless laws, and it's getting ridiculous. People are fed up with having to have issues growing food in their front yard. They can we need to, just like Trillion says, we need to dig up our lawns and build a garden. And grass is actually a problem if you're a gardener. It's a invasive species. It gets into all your food. So you're trying to make all sproutlings, but you have like invasive grass taking over, hoarding over your garden. Oh. So yeah, I would sure love it if these people in Hollywood would get the picture that weapons aren't cool. We should, and when we have all these girls trying to look sexy with weapons, that's where it really chaps my hide. I'm like, ladies, put the guns down. Women should not, be doing that kind of stuff. We shouldn't all be uh, making icons of women with guns and having that look sexy. It was never Life was never intended to be this big standoff where everybody is like armed to the teeth, and afraid of each other. I think with all this awakening, all these marches and everything, people just need to realize that, okay, we're not gonna blow each other up anymore as a people, as the people of Earth. So we need to take the power back and put it back into put it into my hands. It's I I think all the nations should still run themselves. I think that they should all. I mean, I don't have any interest in patrolling anybody. But we need that stability before we're gonna have open contact. That's what a lot of them don't realize yet. Uh, that's what I'm told. Oh, sap. Right, sap. And yeah, we need their help. We need their help getting rid of our nuclear weapons. And Russia knows that. We're what are they gonna? They're gonna sell their bad submarines off. It's not really cool. We we can't have all these nuclear weapons and not have them accounted for. We can't let them fall into the wrong hands. And we can't have all these nations on the uprise. Just like we really can't have. I agree. We can't have Iran and other new countries like sprouting up all over the place, wanting to have the bomb, because that road's eventually going to lead us to mutually assured destruction if we don't keep it in check. The they seem to think that the ones that already have it are stable enough that they're not going to do anything. But they're worried about North Korea. There's concerns out there, and it's hypocritical, like I've been saying all along. So I proposed having a worldwide treaty for nuclear weapons. We all have to disarm ourselves with the nuclear stuff. You still have a few old school hawkheads uh, that want to keep it because they're afraid of aliens and stuff like that. They're afraid of star visitors. What the potential for them to be hostile, but what those guys don't know is that we've been protected this whole time until we can leave the solar system. We're under protection. Otherwise, we would have had some trouble by now. And it doesn't it seem a little? I mean, doesn't it seem to you a little bit ironic that we're having this smooth ride all this time? Uh, and yeah, most of them out there in the cosmos are not hostile. They're benevolent beings. To be malevolent, uh, they would have problems of their own with hostility. To even get here, it takes a lot of stability in your civilization to even be able to travel that far. If you would have had a hostile civilization, it would have been brought back down to ground zero a few times. And on Earth, they're really curious to see what we'll do. They've seen our patterns through history. We have these cyclical patterns where we drop back down to ground zero. And and I don't think we need to see another event where we're dropping asteroids and windows from space and nuking each other. I don't think we need to see that anymore. I think we've come so far that and we really have had a massive awakening to a point where it's I can say this stuff and people will be like, "Yeah, that guy is right," you know. And it could go viral and there it could be exponential, you know. You could have a new direction on this whole planet, and we would have thoughts and technologies and coming from them when they come to us. If we're at peace with ourselves and they come to us, and we kind of go back to our roots a little bit and tread lightly on Mother Earth. Uh, what we can maintain our technology and everything if we don't have these cycles of warfare and conflict. So yes, I do believe that we need to consolidate all this power, and only the wisest should be able to have that kind of control over this planet. We it can't just be who's popular. You understand that, right? It can't be who's popular anymore. It has to be the smartest and the wisest people, the most sound people we could possibly have. Now, I'm not going to say it has to be somebody who's ancient and old. I mean, I'm telling you, it could be me. It probably the as far as I can tell, I'm probably the best candidate that I've seen to have that, because I don't really trust a lot of these people. I mean, there are some ladies out there, though, I think you know there are some ladies out there who are really peaceful, and they don't want to stir up the hive. They don't they wouldn't have all this garbage in the Middle East. Creating um, missile sites and stuff like that, making everybody paranoid. So that's kind of what it comes down to. We have to take a few steps before we can do that. Right, Sap? And so they came to me for a few reasons. You have to be sensitive to even see what you're looking at. It's kind of like how uh, how the Native Americans couldn't understand what they were looking at when we had the ships coming across the ocean for the first time. It's like they didn't know what they're looking at, and the same thing is with star visitors. We don't really know what we're looking at yet, and we have all these UFOs. I don't know what they are, you know. I don't think a lot of people. I don't care who you are. We're having new visitors, okay, and new life forms, and they're not always physical, and we don't always understand them. And some of them are at higher resonance, and you have to be sensitive enough to even be able to see them. A video camera can catch things that my eyes cannot even see. Like when I did that HumaPro video, I was talking about how HumaPro was pretty much some weird garbage that made my body nauseous personally. I don't know why they were in that video. Maybe they were like, yeah, that stuff, you need to take good care of your bodies. We'll fly around behind you for this video. I brought them out because what I did in this video. I can create language on the spot, and it sounds French to me, right? But it's not French. What is it? It's improvisation, but they study language, and if there's something they've never heard before, they come around. I've seen it happen before. When I was recording, we would have a UFO come out, and they'll come to you if you simply ask for a sighting. And like I said, I'm not sure if it's has. You have the Yahweh summoners, and I'm not sure it has to do with the name of the creator per se. I think it's just your intention. It's like, I would like to have a summoning, would you guys show yourselves? And you can just think it. You don't have to say any words or magic words at all. You can just think that you would like to have them show themselves, and you might have a UFO come out of the clouds, a glowing disc, or a light orb. So the light orbs are making the crop circles. We have that on video. They're communicating with us. We can't shoot them down. I think that's probably why we see light orbs for the most part, because we have all these, kind of pig-headed people running our military, and they're paranoid, they're invading our airspace, So I think they've kind of caught on to that. a little bit in the military. I think they're kind of like, uh, yeah, we can't always shoot them down, and uh, and you know, everybody around the world just needs to realize it's not smart to be shooting down star visitors you've never met before. I got upset about that in the last video, but really it's a bad sign for me to get upset. It means I don't, you know, I can't let things bother me. And that's one thing I try to tell people. You can't allow all this prickly bull crap to get on your nerves, you know. You can get all fired up and everything, but really it's damaging to your health to get stressed out or anything like that. You gotta just have your own bubble, and it's kind of like everything everyone says and does around you. You can't allow it to penetrate your bubble. You have to have your own bubble, and and find your center and be at peace with yourself to see fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional things. You see what I'm saying? If you sink down, you don't always see what you're looking at. So it's only when I point it out to people that they can see the UFO. They could be looking at the sky exactly where I was, but they didn't notice it until I pointed it out to them. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like I can share that, and it's kind of like, I can see it. You know what I mean? So that's something else I haven't really covered, I guess. So it's important to create every day. There's two kinds of people. There's creators, and then there's those who want to manipulate and control. So we all have to become creators for there to be stability. If we all want to be manipulators and we have too many manipulators, we're going to have people kind of like Hitler running the show. So it's important that we all create things every day, and I think it's like it's good for your soul or something to create and to share what you created that day every day. And I tell people to grow at least 5 new things every day. Plant at least 5 things every day, if not more. And that will change the world. That will make the world a better place. And we may have a sustainable future, even with all the droughts and everything. We need to protect our seeds. We're having the big GMO debate, you know. And that could really mess things up if we're not good with our original seeds, you know, given to us. You see, what the species on Earth are a melting pot from a variety of planets. They're a gift to us. Do you see? Not every planet out there is as lucky as we are. They've seen that Earth is habitable, and they've given us a tremendous variety of species, and we need to protect those gifts. The same with the races on Earth. I cannot believe that all the races on Earth came from Africa like that. We are a melting pot from different sectors of the galaxy. Like I rap about the 4 rivers from space, you know, like we all came here from different places, you know, and we need to be good with each other. It's like a grand experiment. It's like we are gonna get along, or you know, or we're gonna destroy something that we all know is so beautiful, and we're so lucky. We're so lucky to have everything working perfectly. We have the moon around us, giving us life. We have the sun, and everything's in just the perfect spot. You know, it's it's all there for a reason. It's all there to make this planet work.